everyone, Voodoo here, and we are back today with the next of the boss videos for Manaforge Omega. Now in this one, we're doing both Fractillus and Soul Hunters together. Fractillus is a pretty easy, quick boss fight to go through, so we'll just breeze through that, and then we'll talk about Soul Hunters. Next up will be Nexus King later on once it's dead, and then of course, Dementius. So we're gonna go over the talents, and then we'll break down key points of the fight. If you want to see the full video of each fight, unedited, without me talking, the link to my Twitch is in the description. You can go find it highlighted on my channel there. Also follow while you're there. I stream Raid 3 times a week, and some other times as well I do like keys and stuff, or I will pretty soon. I'm just really busy right now. So with that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get on to the video. Okay, so here are the talents we use. So this is the one I did for Fractillus. This is the Cycle of Hatred pre-stack build for Felskard. It is our best single target build, but it does require you to pre-stack Cycle of Hatred all the way up to 20 seconds before pull. If you're not doing that, you can play the no mover variation, which I'll show you in a second because I have to like wipe this to do it because Wowhead doesn't list this one. This is our best single target build. It doesn't use chaotic transformation, but it plays still fairly straightforward. I didn't really find much of an issue VRing, vengeful retreating for Exergy on Fractillus. I think you have a ton of room. You can VR backwards even if you need to. His hitbox is like huge. So I didn't really find it that much of an issue. I've heard some people have trouble with it. So in that case, just play the single target, no mover one, which is this. But realistically speaking, this build is going to be your best build either way. There's not really a point at all to play Aldrachi Reaver on this fight. Maybe if you don't pre-stack, and maybe if you just don't have much mastery or good Felskard trinkets, then sure, you can play it. But just play Felskard for this one. For the next fight, for Soul Hunters, I would just play Aldrachi Reaver, and I would just play the normal single target build. The thing with 3 targets is that the Immolation Aura stuff isn't really that good at that point. You could maybe grab Blind Fury instead, but at that point you can't really take Serrated Glaive, and the glaives are really strong on 3 targets because that's like the optimal point of damage. Reaver's Glaive hits 4 targets, but our normal glaive only hits 3, which means that whenever they're all stacked up together, your glaives are hitting all 3 targets. You're doing a ton of glaive cleave, a ton of funnel back to whichever target you mark. You have really good photo damage for the Aldrachi damage on this one. So I would just play this build, just like the most straightforward, best one. Could maybe drop Essence Break for something. I'm not sure what. Haven't really looked into it a ton because I think this build is just very good. So those are builds. We'll take a quick look at Lorrgs, though there's not really that crazy stuff in this fight. It's mostly just CD on cooldown, and then we'll go over the videos. Okay, so we are here on Lorrgs, and this is for Fractillus. Now, like I said, it's basically just meta on cooldown. There's some variation here, basically just like when people's essence breaks are up, when people have mechanics. I believe there's a wall that comes out here, or like a break or something. The big thing on this fight is you really don't want to use meta if you have a wall break. It causes some weird things to happen, and I'll actually show you that on the video because I did it on our kill, and it caused me to be stunned, but still move around, which was really weird. So just avoid that. Otherwise, it's just, you know, meta lust and potion on pull, right? And just rip into the boss. Pretty straightforward there. For Soul Hunters, it's pretty much the same thing. You want to use meta when they're all back together, pretty much. That's about it. Like, it's really not that complex of a fight. You'll have meta come up pretty much each time right as you come back into the main phase here, and you just want to use meta whenever all 3 targets are together so you can get the most cleave that way. That's pretty much it. There is also a case here for on uses. I would really recommend you having on use trinkets for this fight. Araz is really good, probably your best one. You can use Signet, I guess, if you need to, but Araz would be a huge pickup here for Aldrachi Reaver. Other big one is that you generally don't get to do much damage during the final intermission with Fell Devastations. So hold your meta, but if you are killing before then, just send it. But generally speaking, again, you're going to have your meta come up at the end there. Now, our kill was a little long. It was also a prod kill, so it wasn't the cleanest or whatever. But as long as you're cleaving all 3 targets whenever possible. Why they hold a hunt use? Don't do that. Don't do that. As long as you're cleaving all 3 targets when possible, you'll do fine. So that's Lorrgs, that's talents. Let's go over the videos. All right, so here we are with Fractillus. Now, the only big thing about this fight, if you're following the meta strategy, is that you only break mythic walls 4 times. Those are the most dangerous breaks. Now, they happen at 1:22, 3:22, 4 minutes and 2 seconds, and 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Generally, you want to have a personal or nether walk for each one, and you very much can. What I ended up doing is I personaled the first 2, so 1:22 and 3:22. I used nether walk on the 4:02 set, if I needed it. And then I used Blur on the 442 set, generally. Other big thing that's a little tip if you're progging this is that you can actually pre-spread early. So once people start going out for the wall breaks, you can just head over to your spread spot. It makes things a lot less chaotic, and you will have full melee uptime, assuming your raid is planned decently well. Like, I don't know why they put you in range, but hey, weird things have happened. I'm assigned on the far right, so you'll see that happening here. But realistically, like, this fight is fairly straightforward as long as you just don't like mess up what the weak core is telling you to do. Then you should kill it pretty easily. So we go in here with the meta, the no mover build, the pre-stack build. Grabbing my soul. I see it to my left there, or maybe I don't even see it right now. Oh no, I do. I was waiting for the walls. And really, the name of the game here is quite literally just like stand where the weak core tells you to stand and do damage. So I'm going to spawn a wall on triangle here, or a moon, sorry. And that's pretty much it. Like it's really not that hard. We move back and forth here. I'll show you a break set. So breaks are coming out here. I don't have one. I could pre-move here. I should, and I do it on later ones, but I don't know. I guess I was just kind of tunneling a bit. But, spell rush over here. You have a bomb on you. This one's very safe. I go to my spot, which is just outside of melee range, unfortunately. My raid leader messed me up a little there. I could have went closer to the tanks, which I will end up doing later on. This was our first pull of the night and our only pull of the night for kill on this, so didn't have much time to correct things. But yeah, I mean, we just go through, we do our damage. Why is this oh yeah, everything's delayed because VR. So I mean, like, the build is not hard. You just push I-beam whenever you have it with safe spot moves, and that's kind of the fight. I'll show you guys I'll show you one dangerous set. So this is a dangerous set where I have a dot on me. So I'm in my spot here. I can melee from here, which is perfect, and I blur. And I'm incredibly safe. That's the most important part, is like, as long as you are safe, as long as you are living, go get your soul, there you go. Then you're happy and healthy. And that's pretty much the fight. If you want to see this whole video, you can go check it out on Twitch. But it's just me hitting this target dummy, basically. So the weird thing that happens, I'll show you at the end here. Here we go. So I actually don't even know if I ended up breaking this wall. So I'm in the middle of my burst. So I break the wall and I meta, but I don't actually get the thing removed from me. So I actually can't use any abilities here, and I can't move. But normally what happens is you get knocked back. And then it gets removed from you. But I managed to meta at the exact same time when I hit the wall. So I break the wall. I'm in the air while I break the wall. I still have the crystallization debuff on me, so I can't move. I can't use the ability, I can't move. But I don't get the break thing on me, which is fine. Like, the boss is basically dead, so I did this for safety. But oh my god, does that tank my damage? So don't do that. Generally, you want to have the thing remove. But yeah, boss dies. So just be very careful about when you use your meta. If you meta too early, you won't get knocked back and thus won't break a wall. If you meta at the exact right moment, you'll break the wall, which is good, but then you won't do anything with it. You could just be crystallized, which is weird. But that's that fight. Nothing else crazy. Again, full video on Twitch, link in the description. Let's go on to Soul Hunters. All right, on Soul Hunters here. Now, right away, a few things. So first off, this fight, if you're progging it, very, very important. Let me just full screen that you just play safe. Okay, that is the number one thing. Play safe. You can parse later. Just play safe on the prog kill, and this boss should die very, very easily. Now, the other thing is that you really do want to have your cycle stacks. Cycle is more important, having all of them, like having the 10 seconds off of I-beam on fights where there's multiple targets. So you really, really, really want to have it coming in here. If release takes too long, sorry, if like your healer's rezzing you takes too long, you can release, push it, and run back. The run back's not very far from here. You'll either be at, actually, I guess if you killed Fractillus, you'll be at Nexus King, so don't do that. But if you haven't killed Fractillus yet, it's not very far. If you kill Fractillus, like, don't release, you'll be at Nexus King. It's weird. The other big thing is you want to align yourself in a way that hunts all three targets to pull. Now, generally, what I found is that you go through here, and you'll get all three because they pull this one in. The other big thing is that you want to be targeting Elysia Dark Sorrow. So we'll break that down a little bit more. So on the opener here, what I do is I come in and I trigger my Thrill first. Now, the reason for this, the reason I'm doing this, a bit of an abridged opener, is that I have Thrill on all of my I-beams, all my Essence Break combo, because again, it's AoE, so it's a bit more important. Now with Lust, I do manage to get everything in there, so that's great, that's good and dandy. And I would recommend playing with an on-use. I don't seem to be doing that. I really thought I did play with an on-use on this boss. I guess I didn't. I think I played like Crystal maybe, I don't know. Play with an on-use. Other thing there, which was happening while I was yapping, is the tank one will do this thing which will spawn soul fragments. As a Havoc Demon Hunter, you should be looking to grab a soul fragment every single time. You're highly mobile. This damage doesn't really do much to you. If you get 2 stacks, it can be dangerous. But go out, grab one, be good, help your tanks, because your tanks have an important job of moving. So as soon as these puddles come out, you want to have your tanks running to the end of them, because this is where Duskblaze is going to go. If tanks are a bit delayed, it's like okay, but you want them to move as fast as you can along these lines, so that you can maintain cleave on all 3 targets. So he's going to void step. We're already on our way, and he stops when we reach the end, and boom, they're all together there. If you don't do that quick enough, this one drops a Blade Dance. Blade Dance is very deadly, and Dark Sorrow drops a Spirit Bomb and casts, which means they'll be out in the middle of nowhere. So you really do, again, want them to be all together. The big mythic mechanic, aside from the intermissions, is that Sigil of Chains will happen. This puts a slow on you, which makes it unfortunate for soaks. And if you have Vengeful Retreat, I would use that to get rid of the slow, but otherwise you can just save it. The other big thing is that there are 3 of these. So what happens normally is that the first one goes through melee, second one's more ranged, and then the last one is also ranged. If you get one and you can immune it, do so. Be like Netherwalking 1 or immuning 1 and just run out to your target. You'll see me do it at the end. It's very, very helpful for just alleviating damage on this fight, because this fight, you know, a lot of stuff happens. So there, I probably should have held my VR a little bit just to cancel the Sigil of Chains slow, because slow does suck, and you really don't want to overlap with people. So here, I don't do it. Yeah, I get into a different soak, which is like mostly fine. As long as you're doing a soak somewhere, that's ideal. You get a little Sinful Brand debuff, which means you can't soak another one. So all you want to do is make sure that you are soaking those, make sure you're funneling into Dark Sorrow, and then also make sure that you are just cleaving all 3 targets whenever possible. Blade Dance comes out almost immediately. Poor Snoop, our rogue on the kill died like 3 times. Poor guy, sacrificial. Blade Dance comes out so fast, you basically don't have any time to dodge it. So you really want to make sure that you are taking this very seriously, not greening Blade Dance at all, because this will basically one-shot you. So that's like the big hard melee thing. The last thing are these cones. Those are baited on the people with debuffs. If they're ever baited in melee, it means just yell at somebody. That means there's a ranged in the melee stack. What the hell are they doing there? Yada, yada, yada. From there, we go into the intermission. Coming to the intermission, you want to have your mark on Duskblaze. Another big thing is that you are now chained to 2 other people. So what happens is that there's a person in the middle, and they are chained to 2 people, and the people on the edge are chained to the middle person. If you go too far, you deal like 8,000 damage, and you get yanked back together like the what's the mechanic? The vines on Sludge Fist guy, Marsh Fist, whatever, from what is this dungeon? From Floodgate. Now the other big thing is that they all come back down, they do the mechanics again, and I would maybe hold stuff a little bit longer, because again, you do want to hit all of these, but this is when you pop your second meta, and you just absolutely slash all of them. Try and do that, of course, before damage really comes out. I go on a little tour here because I'm just avoiding the ground things. And then the fight basically just repeats. There's nothing else that's new. We will skip ahead and I'll show you the other intermissions. But again, you know, basically it's just avoid things on the ground, soak hunts when possible. If you need room in the hunts, just spread out. You don't want to clip anybody. Only soak 1 hunt, and then just try and cleave all 3 targets whenever you can. And then finally, of course, it's what is my final point? I don't even remember. It's just a cleave fight. Cleave, dodge on the ground. Respect the circles. Respect circles, respect Blade Dance. Generally, the Blade Dance happens when she moves, and then once towards the end of the phase, I believe, which isn't that big of a deal. But collect souls, be safe. Should be a pretty straightforward fight. So we'll skip ahead to the other intermissions. So this is the other intermission. So this is the Havoc one. Havoc one is a bunch of blaze lines. I think I'm with both tanks here. Yeah, I'm with both tanks. So who cares? I'm sending everything here. I think that's a fair decision. So this is mostly fine. If you ever get 2, pop up personal. But generally, you want to just move along your blaze line towards your targeted allies. Like, that's pretty much it. It's really not that complex. This is much easier than the first intermission, I think. 2 is the death number. If you are getting targeted by more than 1, you'll be in danger. Otherwise, like, it's really not that bad, and you can be mostly fine here. Grab my soul, go out. Meta will come up in a second here. Waiting for everything to come back. We'll pop it, whatever, we move on. So from there, we go to the last intermission. So this is the worst intermission. Why am I dying here? I pop a health stone, it's fine. We go to the last intermission. Now this is the worst one for melee. So this is the Vengeance one, and I believe with more gear, we'll get, I think this week is like item enhancement buff, and then next week's 3%. Like, this guy should die way before this. She should die so fast. But you're going to stand in the middle and bait the Vengeance person. They're going to Infernal Strike around and then Fell Devastation towards the group. So the meta strat here is that if it's close, you sneak beside it. If it's far, you just back up. Now, if you back up, that means you're not doing any damage as melee, unfortunately. So if you're trying to parse this fight, you really want to try and kill this thing before it does its ultimate. If you kill it before it triggers its meta, they just don't do it. They keep going with the rest. So it's not that big of a deal. You can probably last for 10-20 seconds with one of these things dead before the ramp up damage gets to be too much. But we go in the middle, we bait, it goes towards us, we're running the side here, do as much damage as I can, yada yada yada. And then since we're all right here, it will leap away. So because it's far here, we just back up. So it has a max range, and that max range means that we can't hit it. The range can, we can't. So it comes close to us now, so we sneak beside it, boom. And then it only does that 3 times, and then the phase ends, which is pretty straightforward. So at that point, I probably should have held my Blade Dance to cleave all 3. At this point, I'm like, okay, we need to just like kill this boss. We have to kill Dark Sorrow here. In about 10 seconds or so, they will all do their ultimates again. So I am just chasing down Dark Sorrow, trying to kill him. Because the big thing is that you can do the other 2 in the intermission for a little bit, but you cannot do Dark Sorrow at all. It's nearly impossible to deal with it when they all trigger them. Here is what I was talking about, where I get my immune. So I just immune, I run close to it, soak it, easy. And then we kill these things right as the intermission happens. So you want to kill Havoc next, and then Devourer last, because the Devourer one doesn't do anything until the balls come in. And boom, there we go. That is the fight. So big takeaways here are try to have your tanks move pretty cleanly. Always follow Duskblaze around. Target Dark Sorrow as your main focus. Meta when all 3 are together. And just try and cleave, try and buff your I-beams with Thrill, try and always photosecond, that kind of stuff. So you just really want to cleave, really respect stuff on the ground, and really respect the mechanics, and the boss should fall over fairly easily. So that's it for Soul Hunters. So that was a bit of yapping for Soul Hunters. The fight is a mechanic vomit fight, so dealing with it is going to be a bit weird. There's not really great darkness points. You can just kind of personal darkness if you need it, because there's never really a ton of time where the rate of stack or taking ticking damage. It's just not really how the fight works. But if you're in danger, you can just pop it. Oh, excuse me. Fun fight though. So yeah, just cleave stuff, have it on use. I don't know why I didn't have it on use. I should have had like sigil, or not sigil, signet. I have a signet. I don't have anything else, but use that. So again, if you want to see the full unedited with me not yapping over them videos, they're on Twitch. Link in the description. They're highlighted on my channel. You can find them there. But yeah, I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for watching the channel. I'll be live tonight. When's this coming out? Wednesday. Tonight with Reclear, tomorrow with Prague. I'll be gone this weekend. I will have a video Friday, and I'm going to try to have a video Monday, but it might not happen. We'll see. But video Friday, streams Wednesday, Thursday, and Tuesday, but obviously that's, in the past for you guys. It's in the future for me. And yeah, appreciate you all so much. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, growing the channel. Excited for Devourer, excited for Midnight, excited for finishing this raid. So hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time. Peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you to Correlated, Alexander Trifonovich, Fear Redefined, Loose Change, Zooligan, Gabriel Correa, Magic Man 133, Falafadar, and Dark Terror. Again, a big thank you to everyone who watches my videos, but especially a big thank you for people who are helping support the channel. If you want to support the channel, become a channel member down below for a few perks. More to come in the future. And with that, again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.